Hi there, Greenwin group. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Sari, and I'm going to take you through a yoga flow. So part of our Grow and Rise series is me also sharing different ways that we can grow, not just here on the yoga mat, but in our life. And so today's practice will really focus on all the different ways that we can connect to ourselves. And off of the yoga mat, there's things like music and writing and journaling and things like that. And on the yoga mat, we utilize so many different parts of ourselves, like our breath, utilizing our breath to connect ourselves in the moment, right? Using our body, so moving our body through space, feeling into it and digesting the experience. We partly use our imagination and visualization when we're doing yoga, right? As we translate the cue of moving into a certain pose, we let it translate into the body. We imagine, we visualize it. Even if we are looking up at the screen, we are also internally imagining what it will look like. So just acknowledging all the ways that we can connect with ourselves, not just here on the yoga mat, but in life, really allows us to take time for ourselves, and it reaffirms the importance of connecting with ourselves at all times. So we know where we are in space, regardless if we're going through good times or bad, right? It's just getting honest with where we are. So for today's practice, I have a blanket, as you can see, and we'll use that now for the meditation and perhaps a little bit closer to the end of practice. And then I also have 2 blocks. So we're going to use that as well. So let's begin in a short meditation. So I'll meet you on the center of your yoga mat. So just coming into any place that feels good for you, that helps you to ground, helps you to find some steadiness, and sets you up to connect with yourself. So in this meditation, I'm going to take you through a breath practice that gives us feedback as to how we are breathing in, right? Are we allowing a full inhalation to enter our body or not? And how do we release breath? And so we're going to manipulate the breath a little bit and just see how it feels in our body. It's a way to connect with ourselves. So taking a moment to just rest the hands, find your seat, feel the ground beneath you, allow the weight of your body to just plant the seeds for your growing practice. And then inhale, lift and lengthen through the top of the head so the spine gets long, just like a flower stem that's just sprouting. And then as you continue to draw your attention inward with every moment, do acknowledge how, thoughts of the future and what we're going to do later and what we're going to have for dinner and what's happening on the weekend or what just happened, where we came from, what's happening in work. Right? The mind is going to take us in all these different places, and we acknowledge and we note, and then we come back here and we take a breath. And it's just the practice, the nature of the mind. So it's not good or bad, but it just is. And every time that we remind ourselves to come back to the moment, we are growing. We're growing more present with ourselves. So on your next inhale, I want you to take 2 counts in. So you will inhale for 1, for 2, pause, and then exhale for 2 and 1. Again, inhale for 1, for 2, pause, exhale for 2 and 1. You're going to do this for another round. You can place your hands on your body to really feel it. So again, inhale for 1, for 2, pause, exhale for 2 and 1. So lengthening out the inhale and the exhale. Let's go one more round with the 2 counts. Inhale for 1 and 2. Pause. Exhale for 2 and 1. Most of us could probably take a longer measurement of breath. So let's go for 3. So inhale for 1, for 2, for 3. Pause. Exhale for 1, 2, and 3. Let's do that again. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, and pause. Exhale for 1, for 2, for 3. One more round. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3. Pause at the top. Exhale for 1, 2, and 3. Let's go to the count of 4. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, and 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4 to exhale. Again, inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, 4. Pause at the top. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Last round. Inhale for 1, for 2, for 3, and 4. Pause. Exhale for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Just release your hands if they were placed on your body. Just feel the effects of your practice of connecting with your breath, of connecting with yourself. Notice if you feel more expansive, more spacious within, calmer, lighter, more clarity. Eyes open. Enjoy this class today. Okay, so make sure that your right ankle is crossed over the left ankle. And if you have your left on your right, I want you to switch it so we're all in the same place. So right ankle over left. I'm just going to move back a little on my mat. You're going to inhale, bring the fingertips out in front of you. Lengthen and lift through the spine. Exhale, just fold forward any amount, okay? It doesn't matter how long you're folding, but what I will say is that if you're really roundy through the upper back, really hunched over, then try to stay more lifted, walking your hands out. Good, or just staying for another moment. And then inhale, lift it all the way back up. Take your left hand to the right knee, right hand behind your back. Easy twist here. Gazes over that right shoulder, breathing in and out. Lift up through the chest, opening up through the heart space. You're going to take another breath here. And exhale. Good. Come back through center. Before we do that whole sequence on the other side, we're going to do one more exercise. So extend your legs for a moment, and then you're going to bend your left knee. You're going to cross this left leg over the right, but just let the left ankle cross over the right thigh. So this left leg moves as one piece, fingertips behind your back, bend the right knee any amount. So you probably feel it in your outer left hip. This is what we want. Inhale, lift and lengthen the chest. You're pressing that left ankle firmly into that right thigh. You can always move your right foot back. Sitting up tall. Let's stay here for another breath or two. We're getting into the outer hips today. And we're going to continue to twist and rinse out the heaviness of winter. Okay. Start to extend your right leg. Let the left leg go. Shake it out. Good. So come back to cross legs. And this time, we got left over right. Okay. So before you fold, so as you can see, I'm on a blanket, and this just helps to relax our thigh bones, let our hips release a little bit more, and allows us more access to fold. So if you don't have a blanket, I encourage you to go get a towel or a blanket, whatever you want. Fingertips down. You may just stay here and practice lifting the chest. You may start to walk your hands forward, letting the chest go. Any amount, right? You don't have to get so close to the ground. We're just opening up through the outer hips and low back. Good, 2 more. And breath is nice and smooth. Then inhale, lift up. Your right hand is going to cross to the outside of your left thigh. Left hand behind the back. Let's sit up nice and tall. Good. Feel as if you're taking your chest through the window of your arms. Gazes over the left shoulder. Find the breath. Instead of just hanging out here, come back to the breath, just like we did in our meditation. 1 more here. Good. Inhale, slowly come back to center. Straighten the legs. Good. And then from here, we're going to bend the right knee. And remember, we're going to move this right leg as a whole. So what I mean by that is we're not just going to flick our right ankle over there from the knee joint. We're just going to pick up your right foot, take your right ankle over your left thigh. Then from here, this might be enough for some of you. Hands behind the back, start to bend the left knee. I'm just turning to the side so you can see, sitting up nice and tall here, pressing that ankle into the thigh, lifting through the chest, getting into those outer hips. This is just our warm-up. We're going to get into our hips a little bit more soon. Take another breath in. Good. And then exhale, slowly release. Come on over, hands and knees. So let's move our blanket off to the side. Palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to curl the toes under and then start to come into our downward facing dog today. And we're going to bend the right knee as you drop your left heel. Then you'll switch. You'll drop the right heel, bend your left knee. You're going to switch again, bend right, let the left heel drop, and then switch again. You can come up to those tippy toes, take a bend in the knees, melt your chest back, and then let the heels drop. If you find that your spine goes really round, then keep a little bend in the knees. From here, we're going to roll forward to a plank, shoulders over the wrists. Drop the knees, send your chest forward. As you bend your elbows, let the chest travel south. Point your toes, palms down. From here, we're going to roll the shoulders up and back and let the chest smile. Find a cobra, and then exhale, we lower. Good, curl the toes under. Let your hips tap onto the heels. It's a nice release for the low back. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And exhale out. Let's do that again. So come forward to a plank. Lower the knees. Chest goes forward. Bend your elbows. Lower down. Point your toes. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale, let's lower. Curl the toes under. Again, pass through that child's pose. Taking your time all the way back. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. And out. Start to walk your feet very casually up to the hands. And when they get to the top of the mat, hands to those shins, lift and lengthen your chest. Bend your elbows, fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, hands to the shins, look up. Exhale and fold. From here, roll it all the way up to stand. Big shoulder roll back. Okay, so let's flow a little bit. Let's bring our feet hips distance apart. We're going to start in a standing chair pose. So I want you to take your hips way back over the heels. Right, your spine's at about a 45-degree angle, your arms up. We're just here for 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Good, 1 more. Stay low, but shift the weight into your left foot. Cross right ankle over left thigh. We did this when we were seated. Get into those outer hips. Stay here, 1 more breath. Place the right foot down. And then fold all the way into the legs. Hands to the shins, look forward. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step back to a top of a push-up. Drop your knees, come forward, and then lower all the way to the mat. Point your toes back. A little bit different here. Interlacing your fingers behind your back. You're going to press down through your belly button, and then inhale, start to lift your chest up. Start to lift your legs up. That's it. Stay with it here. This is called locust pose. Gaze is soft. One more breath. And then exhale, lower. Find that cobra. And then exhale, release. Grow your body back into that downward facing dog. On your next inhale, you're going to lift your left leg up. Look between your hands, and then you're going to step your right foot up between them. And you can take as many steps as you need to get that foot up there. So maybe it's 2 or 3. We're going to release your bottom leg, your bottom knee. If you have any sensitivities, you can fold over the side of the mat or place your blanket underneath the left knee. Walk your hands up the right thigh. From here, you're going to inhale, find a really long spine. And then all you're going to do is tuck the chin into the chest. Now notice my legs aren't super slinky and stretchy here, okay? I have a 90-degree angle on my front leg, 90-degree angle on my back leg. That's what I want here. I want you to feel the stretch down this left quadricep, this left thigh from your hip flexor. Think of it as therapeutic from all that sitting at your desk, okay? And then from here, start to reach your left arm up, chin into the chest. And you can just keep pressing your right palm down on the thigh. You got it. 2 more breaths. So we got the outer hip going on. We have now the front of the hip. Last inhale. Good. Exhale. Left hand's going to come down. You're going to take this twisted lunge. So the right arm comes up. Now, if this feels okay, lift your back knee and make it a full twisted lunge. You can also take a block or a soup can underneath your left hand, anything to elevate you. Good. You have 1 more breath here. Very nice. Your right hand comes down for a moment. You're going to spin your left heel in and down. We're going to reach our left arm forward, come all the way up. We call this warrior 2. Your front leg is bent towards a 90-degree angle. Back leg is straight. My left toes are angled in a little bit. Now, a little different perhaps than a traditional side angle, which is where we're kind of going. So from here, take your right arm, let it swing towards your left thigh, and then take your left arm up and over. So you're creating this beautiful swirl with your arms. Now, you can go deeper if you want. You can start to take your shoulder down to the right thigh, but it's not necessary. All right, you can stay lifted here. We're here for another breath. Inhale and exhale. That's it. Inhale, let's fully reverse this. So we go from a swirl to a beautiful curve. Very nice. Exhale, both hands down. You're going to step back to a downward facing dog. Take an inhale breath here and an exhale breath. 1 more. Good. Start to walk your hands back to your feet. And you're going to grab your big toes with your peace fingers. We call this a yogi toe lock. Okay. So the lock is actually the thumbs that go around. So it looks like this around your big toes. And then from here, a little bend in the knees. You're going to look forward. And then you're just going to fold your chest into your legs any amount. So I like to keep a nice deep bend here. Helps to open up my low back and my hamstrings. We're going to be here a few times. So take 1 more breath now. Good. Inhale, you're going to look up. Fingertips come out in front of you. Turn your toes out, squat. Okay, so again, we're back into these outer hips and low back. So reach your arms through your legs. If your heels lift, don't worry about it. You can place a blanket under them or just stay on those toes. Palms at the heart center. Work to lift the chest, letting your hips be heavy. Low back is opening. Take your breath and your attention where you feel it. And so notice if your initial instinct is to move away from tension. Okay, that's what it is, tension. Obviously, we don't want to move to a place that we're going to be in pain. But if it's tension, if it's tight, stay there for 2 breaths. Stay with it. This is how you grow. This is how you expand. Stay with what's a little uncomfortable. 1 more breath. Fingertips down. Lift your hips. Spin the toes in. Walk all the way back to your downward dog. 1 more breath. You're going to lift up to the tippy toes. Send your hips back as you bend your knees. Take a little hop to the top of the mat. You're going to bring your hands to the shins as you look up. And then bend the knees and fold. From here, lift the arms all the way up and over the head. Lower those thumbs down to the heart space. Take a moment, inhale. And exhale. That was really fun. So let's do it on the other side. Okay, so feet are hips distance. Let's take our chair pose, right? Pulling your hips way back, arms up. Good, we're just here for 2. And 1. Shift the weight into the right foot. Pull the left knee up. Remember, we're moving this leg as one whole. Cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Pull back. Stay in your chair. Breathe it in. And out. Navel in. Ribs in. And then coming all the way up. Left foot's placed down. Little bend in the knees and fold. Hands to the shins as you lengthen. Bend your knees, step back to that push-up. Drop the knees. You got to bend the elbows so then you lower down with control. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to interlace the fingers again, but we're going to keep our feet down. We're going to take a deep breath in, and with your palms either together or apart, but the fingers are interlaced, bring your left cheek down and just allow these interlaced fingers to travel to the left. Even if your right hip lifts up a little bit, keep reaching through the toes. Just getting an opening through the chest here. Good, and then let's do the same on the other side. So right cheek down, let that fist travel to the right. Try not to pull on it, let it go where it goes. One more breath. Release, palms down, take a little cobra. Exhale, lower. Curl the toes under, pass through that child's pose, back to your downward facing dog. Breathe it in and out. We're going to inhale the left leg up. So as you look forward to your hands, step it up, okay, as far as you can get it. Now, it may only get up halfway, so you just pick it up. That's it. Right knee drops. Again, find that 90-90 in the left leg and the right leg. So again, not super stretchy, okay? We're a little bit more controlled here, a little bit more structure, as I like to say. So once I have this 90-90 in my legs, if you need to take support under the right knee, please take it. There should be no pain on the knee, okay? I have my back toes curled under. From here, I want to lift and lengthen my chest. And all I'm going to do is drop my chin to the chest. So it's like I'm curling in, keeping those back toes curled under. And you start to feel the stretch running down through the hip flexor to the quad. And then the right arm reaches up. I'm pressing my left palm onto my left thigh. Pull everything inward. Stay with me. Yes. It's a lot of sensation, okay? It's totally normal if there's a lot of sensation going on. One more breath here. Whew, it's gonna feel good. Okay, so now your right hand comes down. So notice how we just stretched the front of the right leg. Now we're gonna stretch the back, okay? So You're going to open up the left chest here. And to get that hamstring stretch, you can lift your back knee. Maybe you're coming up to the fingertips or on a block. Open up through the chest. So these standing poses, not only do they open us up, but they release the tension that's holding us back so we can grow. And then it's energizing our whole being. From here, left palm down, right heel spins in. So I'm setting my legs up for that warrior two. My front leg is bent. My right arm reaches up, then my left. Find your warrior two. You may have to adjust the feet a little bit. Left toes pointing forward. Now my arms are out. Remember, I'm going to go into that swirl here. So my left arm is going to pass my hips. My right arm reaches to the left. Okay? So remember, we can stay here in the swirl, or you can take it as deep as you like. So the lower you go, the more core you're working, the more you're going to feel it in your legs. Stay with me. Open up through the chest. Get really connected to the ground so you can stretch, right? Really planting those roots. One more breath. Whew. I did not have my back roots planted. Come all the way up. Good. Inhale, reverse. Reverse this warrior. And then exhale. Hands come down. Find your downward facing dog. Last time, you're going to come forward to a plank. Drop the knees, lower the chest. Point the toes. Inhale. Cobra. And then exhale, lower. Curl the toes under. Pass through that child's pose. Take 3 breaths in your dog. So I hope you're feeling a little bit more energized now. One more breath. Start to walk your hands back to your toes. So you can take that yogi toe lock again, right, with the peace fingers, locking these big toes with your thumbs, or if you want to continue to open up the shoulders, then interlace your fingers behind your back. And you can do what we did on our bellies, right? You can allow your right shoulder to drop down, lifting your left shoulder up. And then you can switch. One more inhale. Exhale, fingertips down. Walk all the way back out to a downward dog. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to lift up to the tippy toes. Look way in front of those fingertips. Bend the knees. Hop to sit at the top of the mat or slide through. Okay. Grab your towel or blanket. You may want to grab a block too. You're going to sit your butt on it again. May not use the block, but we have it handy, okay? So we're going to extend our left leg straight. And then what you're going to do is move this whole leg again as a whole, but instead of ankle over thigh, it's going to be knee over knee. So I'm not on the sole of my right foot, I'm on the top of it. Okay, so it's knee over knee. If this feels really good, you can lean over to the left a little and take your bottom leg around. So we call this cow face pose. Okay, not quite sure why, but I like the name. The further out that you take your feet from center, the more you're going to feel it in your outer hips. So it's pretty intense. And this is where you may be living. This is where you might stay. However, if you would like to go a little bit deeper, then you can start to walk your hands forward, stacking those knees, so pressing down gently with the chest. Now, if you notice that your sitting bones, okay, your butt kind of lifts up as you fold your chest forward, find a little bit of resistance in the mat and press the hips back. You can let the head go. Same principles. If you're really roundy, I rather you lift and lengthen. You're going to get way more out of a long spine than you will from folding with a round spine. That's it. One more breath. Walk your hands back. Take a little twist here. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. And I'm going to open up my hand. And then take my right hand behind my back. So we did this with cross legs. The beginning. 2 more breaths. Good. Exhale, just spin around to the other side. Okay, so I know this really cool breakdancing move. Okay, and we don't need any music to do it. All right, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to keep your legs as they are, keep your feet as they are, and then you're just going to walk your hands to the left all the way around, and you end up with the left knee over the right. I'm going to do that again for you, okay? So we were here with our right knee over our left. If you're interested in the breakdancing move, if you're not, just switch right knee over left. Otherwise, interested in the breakdance move? It's not really one, but it's kind of fun for yoga. Okay, fingertips down. You're going to stand up. You're going to spin to the left all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Feet don't move. Okay. Yoga is not serious. Seriously impactful on our body, mind, and spirit, but not serious. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall. Maybe your bottom leg is out if it's too much with both knees bent. And then you're folding forward, either with both feet back or one. So again, if you're really roundy, just find a lift. Press back into the sitting bones. Try to find some evenness in your ground. Water it with your breath. One more inhale. And one more exhale. Start to come all the way up. From here, open up the right arm. Press the back of that right arm gently into that left thigh, left hand behind the back. Little twist, gaze over the left shoulder. First, I take my body there. Then I take my head. Instead of just yanking my neck into place where my shoulder is, we just take it, our gaze back where our body will allow it to be. Right? Our necks are so sensitive. And a lot of us carry tension up in our necks and our shoulders. We got to be really careful. One more breath. Good. Exhale, just open up to the other side. No more breakdancing move. Instead, just release those legs. You got 3 more poses, including our rest pose. So extending your legs straight forward. If you like the use of the blanket, please stay on the blanket. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Little bend in the knees. Exhale, hinging at your hips. Once you fold it to your edge, then hands down, lift and lengthen, and then you can refold. Right? Maybe you have a strap if you can't reach your feet, but this is what I don't want. I don't want this because you're not going to get anything out of it. I rather your knees are more bent, and then this will release your low back so you can fold. And then once you have your feet or your ankles or your strap, you can start to play with straightening the legs a little bit. If you're going to come here to the mat, you're going to make the time, then move into the poses and get the most out of them. Inhale, lift all the way back up. Okay, soles of the feet down. We're almost there. I want you to take your time to roll down onto your back. Arms down by your side. Fingertips can touch the heels. So I don't want you to look at your screen. I just want you to hear my cues because it's much safer for your neck if you just look up. So with those arms down by your side, maybe you tickle the heels, right? Your feet are facing forward. They're not, the toes aren't splayed out, the heels aren't splayed out, facing forward, arms down by your side. You're going to take a deep breath here and lift the hips up, right? Any amount, right? We've been opening up through the hip flexors and the quads, so hopefully your body's ready for this. You're going to interlace your fingers. Now, you're going to lean a little to the left and then get that whole right tricep underneath the back. Then lean a little to the right, left arm underneath the back. Push down through the feet, lift up, stay with me. Yes, so if you're pressing into your head, draw the chin to the chest, push into the feet. One more breath. And then slowly release. Knock your knees side to side. And then hug the knees in, giving yourself a hug. And then coming out into our final resting pose, which is Shavasana. So I will guide you to this resting pose for about a minute or two, but if you have the time and space, then you can even shut off the camera or the recording right now, the video, and just stay as long as you want. If you're short on time, then just stay here with me. Just giving yourself the opportunity to connect with yourself by way of rest. Be connected with ourselves by way of movement. Having to imagine some of these poses in our minds first. Connected to ourselves by way of breath. Using our imagination. And now through breath. Allow yourself to just soften here. Okay, when we're connected to ourselves, we hear things differently. They land in our bodies and in our hearts in a way that resonates. We actually listen. We actually hear with all of our senses, not just our ears. So feel free to stay. And if you're going to close practice with me, take a full breath here. And let it go. And then you'll just stretch your arms all the way up and over the head. We'll start to bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet down. And we'll roll over to one side and just pause here and just honor even this last 45 minutes that we've taken for ourselves, right? And every time we connect with ourselves, we grow. We grow on our inward journey, which then affects our outward journey. Pressing yourself all the way up to sit. Let's meet with the palms together and thumbs to the heart space. If this doesn't resonate with you, then just stack your palms, but take a moment to perhaps send out some gratitude. Gratitude for the time, for the ability, for the platform, for the community. Whatever feels right to you. I want to thank you for your trust and your presence. Namaste.